Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to DiRT Showdown. So we're halfway through this 8-ball race. Let's continue. Races are getting longer, so we'll probably have more of this happen where we end halfway one round. We're doing Yokohama. We're probably doing the exact same track. If we're not doing the exact same track, we're definitely doing the same area, and it's going to feel and look almost identical. Three people crashed, waiting for me to take first.
There's a new leader out on track.
Yeah, see, this is a jump, and we didn't have any jumps before. But I mean, it still could easily be the same curves with just jumps added and jumps taken away. Like, it wouldn't even be that hard in the real world to convert a track to have some jumps. The only problem is if you did that in the real world, you would have a lot of people who snap their axles or in some other way damage their car immediately. Monster cars, monster trucks with their large suspensions and springs could probably handle a jump or two, but regular cars not so much. I suppose if we ever were living on a different planet like Mars that was a lot more rockier, we might have to invent some kind of vehicles that could handle jumps and drops and falls better. But I imagine by the time they got cars on Mars, they'd probably also be very close, if not done, with paving it over and putting in roads. Of course, right now we have rovers on Mars, but they move very slowly and very cautiously. They have AI programs telling them not to run over things, break their wheels, and even at that, still they've damaged their wheels. I suppose the concept of a demolition derby shows a level of excess in vehicles. If all cars in the world were as valuable as they probably should be, or as valuable as they're often sold as, we wouldn't have junkyards full of fixable cars, and we wouldn't have cars in junkyards at all. Imagine if you had $1 million yacht or Mercedes. I guess that's where this game probably fails more than anything, is why don't we have the Alfa Romeos, the Mercedes in this game? It's because I know that they don't license out their car models to games that show damage because they don't want their cars depicted in that light. But that doesn't stop you from making parody versions of really fancy cars, instead of like this truck where it's pretty typical to see a truck beat up and dented, in the United States at least. I'd like to be able to drive a real school bus and a real limousine, some fancier things. Just a
2 laps to go.
standard convertible even. Now, for a Demolition Derby game, I don't think you add too much of those motorcycles or things like that. That would just be very dangerous. Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to DiRT Showdown. So we're halfway through this 8-ball race. Let's continue. Races are getting longer, so we'll probably have more of this happen where we end halfway one round. We're doing Yokohama. We're probably doing the exact same track. If we're not doing the exact same track, we're definitely doing the same area, and it's going to feel and look almost identical. Three people crashed, waiting for me to take first.
There's a new leader out on track.
Yeah, see, this is a jump, and we didn't have any jumps before. But I mean, it still could easily be the same curves with just jumps added and jumps taken. Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to DiRT Showdown. So we're halfway through this 8-ball race. Let's continue. Races are getting longer, so we'll probably have more. Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back to DiRT Showdown. So we're halfway through this 8-ball race. Let's continue. Races are getting longer, so we'll probably have more of this happen where we end halfway one round. We're doing Yokohama. We're probably doing the exact same track. If we're not doing the exact same track, we're definitely doing the same area, and it's going to feel and look almost identical. Three people crashed, waiting for me to take first.
There's a new leader out on track.
Yeah, see, this is a jump, and we didn't have any jumps before. But I mean, it still could easily be the same curves with just jumps added and jumps taken away. Like, it wouldn't even be that hard in the real world to convert a track to have some jumps. The only problem is if you did that in the real world, you would have a lot of people who snap their axles or in some other way damage their car immediately. Monster cars, monster trucks with their large suspensions and springs could probably handle a jump or two, but regular cars not so much. I suppose if we ever were living on a different planet like Mars that was a lot more rockier, we might have to invent some kind of vehicles that could handle jumps and drops and falls better. But I imagine by the time they got cars on Mars, they'd probably also be very close, if not done, with paving it over and putting in roads. Of course, right now we have rovers on Mars, but they move very slowly and very cautiously. They have AI programs telling them not to run over things. break their wheels. And even at that, still they've damaged their wheels. I suppose, and that slightly changes things. I am also noticing it feels like it just doesn't score you correctly half the time. This is actually rather buggy, I would argue. Because I'm in like 8th place and I probably should be in 1st place. My health is almost gone.
Watch the paintwork.
And when you're low at health, your health doesn't recover any, so
Look at that carnage. This is crazy.
so what is your goal? Like, is it simply just survive till the end? Notice the two people there in the yellow vest not even paying attention to the race. Oh, the event at all. That's odd.
And it's over.
There you go. Got a couple more smashes in there. Got 4th place. Here's gonna be a problem. If I can't get at least 3rd place at the end of this race, I can't move forward. And that sucks. We're having an increase in difficulty. This is certainly out of the blue.
Go! Final round. Here we go.
All of a sudden, we now have something different.
Fatal attraction.
And no, actually, I think we have done this track before. It's just been a while
Side to side.
since we've done it. But it is more interesting to look at than some of them. So I'm feeling like these races in particular were a major element that they wanted in the game, but it was also an element that they were having trouble implement, because there are times here where I'm hitting things and it's not counting. If I back into things, it doesn't count. If I'm not going fast enough, it doesn't count. If I get knocked into something, it doesn't count, which, okay, that seems fair enough if somebody knocks me into another car, but sometimes even when you're just going full speed and head on into somebody, it invalidates big hits. I also don't know why the doors are always open and swinging back and forth. And maybe that's just the Demolition Derby thing. They don't lock the doors, or they disable any ability for the doors to lock, so you don't get trapped in there. That makes some decent sense. Like, so what am I supposed to do to hit a car when I'm right next to it? Apparently nothing. So if you're close, you need to... It's actually not about getting up in the grill. It's about getting enough areas so that you can gain enough speed to then crash into something. And I killed that car, and yet that wasn't a terminal hit. So the game has failed to explain what terminal hits mean. And mostly, I think you want to have everybody close to being killed, but not killed until the double points. And now that you're into double points, you want to smash into people. I got about 20 seconds, and I'm in sixth place, and so I've lost. I've totally lost.
That's it. It's over.
And did I lose because I chose the wrong car? Actually, I shouldn't have continued. That was a mistake, and now I can't hit B to go back. That was stupid of me. That was downright stupid of me. I can't progress. If I had just hit restart there, I could have moved on to the next car. Right. So you need the maximum amount of strength, and handling doesn't really matter. It's just strength and power. That's all that matters. And then all of these other upgrades, like, not worth spending money on. And you can't change your cars in between rounds, which kind of sucks, but it also helps because then there's not yet another menu asking you if you want to change cards. But there is a continue menu anyway, so it would have been easy enough for there to be a second button to say, hey, maybe this time you'll try a different car. That would add a level of strategy to this game if it was an actual ability to say, hey, right now would be a good time for me to switch from the strongest car to something with a little bit more maneuverability. My health is fine. I'm just kind of waiting to get everybody down and try and get double points. Of course, as I'm doing that, other people could be killing cars. I'm not even sure Demolition Derby would really allow or appreciate 5 different cars ramming into each other like that. I think they'd want to keep it a little smaller, maybe 2 or 3 people on the field. That way there isn't a potential that one car ends up on top of another car, on top of another car. Like, you can reinforce the frames of these cars as much as you want in the real world. Eventually, some bad situations are going to come about, and you would want to do some level of protection of the drivers. I just got sandwiched. Go, 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 go. There we go. Smash that guy. Right into the wall for 2,000 points. I'm running up the points, which may give me an achievement or something, but it's not going to help me in the next race. So, yeah, right now would be the perfect time to just have a another button to change cars. And then really no point for this second continue. They should just be able to squeeze this information into the previous menu. The DiRT 3 had the similar problem of just too many menus, too much saving, too much loading, too much of everything getting in the way of the actual gameplay. And that only makes it worse when we are at the end of this experience and we've done so many races and we're a little bored with it. Now, of course, I'm playing this all in a row in a matter of just a few days, where games like this are probably much better ingested over the course of multiple months. I can imagine doing just one race every weekend, or one or two races every weekend, playing it for about an hour, maybe every 3 or 4 days. And there are a lot of racing games, not as many as there used to be. So if you're a moderate race enthusiast, you have just this probably plethora of different racing games you could play, compared to, say, like a NFL game where there's only going to be one Madden game per year, and there's no real reason to play Maddens of previous years. Of course, the multiplayer plays a big factor in a lot of games like this, and this probably not having any multiplayer in it now that it's no longer available for sale. I imagine you're suffering and not having as good of an experience. Terminal slam. And with a different car in the second attempt, it seems like I've got victory here. We've got 30 more seconds. So if somebody could terminal slam me, that would be bad. In fact, I probably should just run away. Just run away, 10 seconds, stay clumped up, and stay away from anybody else. But you want to get more points, but if you're already ahead. There we go, first and first. I could have restarted last time and tried the second time and saved myself probably 5 minutes of extra gameplay. But we got this done. We are noticing a slight difficulty spike at the end here, but not crazy. I would say, if compared to DiRT 3, where it felt like you could do almost all of the races except for some of the trick races. The trick races were rather difficult. Felt like almost all of DiRT 3 could be played by a 6-year-old. This 6-year-olds, I think, would get up to legendary, and then they would start struggling, and they would probably ask their parents to help them. Got a new car here, and it has no upgrades at all, which probably is an indicator that that is the top tier car. And we're in Michigan. And if we've done any races in Michigan at all, yeah, we've done maybe 3. This is an area from DiRT 3.
go. The waterworks have shut down.
And this is a standard race. I was kind of expecting more of these in the legendary run, because these are the things that are going to potentially allow you to show off more, have a real excuse for them to be really long. Let's see. Can we survive? Can we recover from that? Hitting these corners. I shouldn't hit these tires or any of the tires because it does seem to slow you down at least a little. I might very well just be struggling with driving this car because it's too fast, so I might need to get accustomed to it. Again, reset vehicle. That was an interesting platform. I felt like a fix your car platform, not a jump platform.
Right on the backside. They've gone for the pass.
Yeah, these are like high road, low road paths instead of jumps. And these are jumps. This feels a little intense, actually. Like this car's too much horsepower for me, and I'm struggling to keep it in line, and that the car is moving a little faster. Hey, we figured out how to actually land in the water. Rubber banding is awful. I'm doing a horrible job, and I'm still in 4th place. Keep falling off the edges of those. Everybody's boosting. Everybody's blocking me. My health of my car is approaching the halfway point, so I probably don't have to worry about that in a race.
Check out that overtake.
Those upper areas are paved roads where the dirt road is just a dirt road, so I could see why you might move faster on them. It simply might just be a choice of friction. I'm finding everything to crash into. And then now I'm down to 6th place.
They've done it. That's the win.
And that's the end of the race right there on 5th. And are there 2 rounds? There's 3 rounds. So it's worth it to continue and go forward and just hope that the next 2 other rounds, which was ridiculously long, nearly 15 minutes, just to do this race. And I don't think I'm going to be wrong that the final race potentially is going to be 30 minutes by itself of driving. And when these things go this long, like your thumb is on the accelerator the whole time, pressing the boost, or it is for me at least. Your pointer finger on your right hand is on that right trigger, accelerating the whole time, you're basically contracting at least 2 muscles in one hand for way longer than you should. Man, cannot hit anything.
That's the overtake.
And the rain certainly doesn't make it any easier. And being unfamiliar with the course certainly doesn't make it easier. There's a big difference in these final races versus the races we've been doing. So they're failing to make you feel like, oh yeah, I'm an expert at this, I've done this so many times. This track is, I know this track like the back of my hand. Instead it's very much a scenario where you're like, I don't know. I don't know where to go. I don't have a mini map. I haven't been on this track but 3 other times. Of course you could and may have to race through this a couple times and you'll become familiar with it, but that shouldn't be the intended experience, particularly since I'm playing on casual. I've had to reset this vehicle multiple times, which tells me I can't drive it. It's too powerful. I keep hitting the edges. I keep driving over the things I'm hitting on the edges. And even unless I got a consistent 4th and with my 5th and another 5th, and that somehow score-wise balanced out to higher than all the other racers, which I don't know how that would really happen. Like, I don't think I'm in a position where I can survive and move forward. But after this race, if I get 5th, I think we reset. I think we try again. Or, like, I guess you just try again. That makes the most sense. Ah. Wrecked. And again, since this is taking so long, like, I have to end the recording here. That's gonna be it for this recording. We'll restart and try it again. But you know what? Actually, I'll probably just quit. You know, we'll go down to the second best car because this one does not have the handling I think I need. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.